Hello everybody, welcome back to C&S Corvettes in beautiful sunny Sarasota, Florida. It's your Corvette buddy Lyle here to talk to you about more interesting, exciting, and hopefully helpful stuff. Today, we're going to cover a few helpful hints in how to let you communicate whatever problem you're having with your car to your mechanic appropriately and fully before you show up for your appointment. Let's get into that. So in my capacity here at C&S Corvettes, I'm the general manager. I'm not the owner, I'm not the boss, but I do kind of handle almost all the customer interactions, the phone calls, the emails, especially when people are asking for help. And one of the things that I want to cover with you guys is these are some of the questions that I get asked and some of the ways that we could be more specific and be able to get you better information faster if we state those questions a certain way. So, here's a good example. I get an email or a phone call that says, "Hey Lyle, my car won't start." Well, that could mean a bunch of different things. Does that mean that it won't crank, it won't start, or it won't run? Three different things, very different causations. So, and you get ready for some really stupid noises, but you'll understand in a second. Crank means you get in the car and you turn the key or push the button and the car goes riggy-diggy, 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 but it doesn't go vroom. That's cranking. Starting means it goes riggy-diggy, riggy-diggy, and then it goes vroom, but then does not run beyond that. If you turn the key and push the button and it both goes riggy-diggy, vroom, and continues to run, your car is running. So that when you're describing that to your shop, that's going to help them already start thinking about what the problem may be, because those are three very different issues. Number two, when you are talking about a problem like your headlights out or your taillights out, or you hear a weird sound from your driver's side or passenger side, when you're telling them that, you have to understand that universally, at least in the United States, left hand and right hand are always determined by your position sitting in the driver's seat of the car. So if you're driving the car and you hear a clump clump coming from your left front on the driver's side, you're going to tell them that it is the driver's side, not the left or the right. If you hear a weird noise coming from the right rear, you're going to tell them it is a passenger rear problem. That will allow them to focus on the correct part of the car without having to do a bunch of extraneous fact-finding once they have the car in their possession. There's also something called rotational noise. So rotational noise is something that is going to be affected usually by either engine RPM or wheel speed. You've got a weird vibration in the front and it starts out relatively minor, but you get to 64 miles an hour and now the car is like this. And then once you get to 70, it stops. That's a rotational problem. So that's one of the things that you would want to describe to your mechanics as well. One of the many questions we get here is about leak identification. Hey, there's a leak under my Corvette. What is it? Well, the only way I or anybody else can tell you that is by having you give me some information, i.e., is this leak located closer to the front or closer to the rear of the car? And using the driver's seat as kind of the dividing line between front and rear. What color is the fluid? Is it green? Is it pink? Is it orange? Is it clear? Is it dark? That helps. Even better if you can slide a big piece of paper or a couple pieces of notebook paper or whatever you have under the car where the leak is happening and snap some pictures with your cell phone and text them. That oftentimes will help us identify what fluid is leaking long before we see the car. Noises and sensations. This kind of is part of the rotational noise thing that I talked about earlier, but this could be virtually anything that you hear or feel that's weird. When does the symptom present itself? Only when moving? Only when stopped? Only at high speed? Only at low speed? Does the symptom present itself more frequently when you're accelerating or decelerating? These are all things that, if you can nail down a little more specificity, will allow your mechanic to help you faster and more efficiently. Now, I'm sure that many of you have neighbors who have cars and like cars, and oftentimes they have advice. Keep in mind that your neighbor's advice may be 100% correct, or it may be 100% BS. So beware of spending any money on parts based on a neighbor's advice until you actually have a diagnosis from a professional who knows what they're doing, so you don't end up owning parts that either cost you a restock fee to return or that, if you wait long enough, aren't returnable at all. And finally, this one is the toughest one. Accurate diagnosis by phone or email is almost always impossible. We can probably help narrow things down maybe to a certain system or a certain area, but to give you an accurate diagnosis without seeing the car, especially on the emails and phone calls where somebody says, Lyle, I've had my car to 3 shops and they can't figure this out. Well, if they'd had the car in their possession and they couldn't figure it out, me on the phone isn't going to be much help. And, I explained that in a kind way, of course, but there's no substitute for hands-on with a car. That's how you get true diagnosis. We're just trying to curate our terms and the words we use so that we are providing accurate information to the people who are going to be getting their hands on the car. That's basically it. None of this is meant as a complaint, of course. It's just trying to help you communicate more effectively with the people that you're relying on to keep your Corvette running, healthy, and happy. If you appreciate what we do here for you, please click the like, subscribe, and the little bell notification button. We looked it up today and only 11% of you have actually clicked that to be notified of when we put out a new video. Any and all of that's going to help get you more good information for free for your car and help us grow as a channel. Thank you so much. I hope you found this useful. If you have things that you think I missed on this list, put them in the comments below, and we may very well do a follow-up video if there are obvious things that I missed on this list that are worth talking about. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend.